Dem donors turn off money tap for left-wing activist groups as party remains in disarray. The mega donors that normally support the Democrat Party, they're not funding this idiocracy anymore. Even they are aware of how far the Democrat Party has strayed from the average American person. They are letting a minute amount, a minority in their party dictate everything that's going on within the party. That's why they're losing, and they're doubling down on that. In fact, I'm gonna play a clip from a poster that talks about that as well. But it is ridiculous that they refuse to listen to the average American, what they want. You can compare what they're pushing to what people want, and it's totally different. But they don't care. They're still trying to jab it down people's necks, down people's throats. And I think this is going to be to their detriment. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to play a few clips, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Caller, and they report that influential Democratic donors are reportedly pausing donations to left-wing activist groups, citing the Democrat Party's failure thus far to articulate a new vision of electoral success after its bruising losses in November. And that's the thing. There is no new vision. They're continuing to double down on these things that helped them lose in the first place. The Democrat Party affiliated advocacy groups are reportedly struggling for cash as left-wing organizers gear up to combat President Donald Trump's agenda by protesting president's actions to cull the federal workforce and freeze government spending that do not align with American interests, according to a report by the New York Times published Friday. Now, most Americans are for this, left and right. They want to stop the government from overspending our tax dollars like they've been doing forever. And this is something that even Obama tried to put in place when he was in office. So Americans on both sides want this overhaul. We want this audit of the government. Despite deep-pocketed donors bankrolling resistance groups during the first Trump's administration, many left-wing billionaires appear to be pulling back on giving due to party leaders appearing to learn few lessons from their November defeat. I played this clip before when it came out back in the beginning of this month, but let's play this clip again. This is what the Democrat Party is pushing now. Look at this. These are the candidates. This was the candidates for the DNC chair singing what you, listen to this. This is crazy.
We'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds, and we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair, and I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight.
Okay, I'm not going to play any more of that, but you get the point. Y'all all seen that clip. This is what the Democrat Party has to offer. With Democratic donors reportedly turning off the spigot to left-wing groups follows a glaring example of party-affiliated groups spending donors' money liberally while yielding few results. You know, we saw Kamala Harris spend $1.5 billion, and they still lost. This is what they're alluding to here. Former Vice President Kamala Harris' 2024 presidential campaign and its allies spent roughly $1.5 billion to take on Trump, but still lost every swing state and the so-called popular vote. Harris's campaign allegedly ended with roughly $20 million in debt, a Politico reporter claimed in November after speaking with sources. Quote, "No one is giving until they see a plan for how we are going to better navigate this unprecedented situation and stop acting like this is a normal administration." Alexandria Akers-Lyons, a political consultant who works with Silicon Valley donors, told The Times. LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, a major Democratic donor who funded E. Jean Carroll's lawsuit against Trump, has also indicated he may take a step back from funding an array of resistant 2.0 groups. And we all know that whole fraudulent thing with Carroll's. I can't believe she won that fraudulent case. But a spokesperson for Hoffman told the Times that the billionaire, quote, thinks that the Democratic Party strategy needs to reform, and when it does, he's happy to hear new ideas and new pitches. One Hoffman advisor notably moved to Canada after the election and told the Times that he's given up on investing in left-wing activism in the United States. Left-wing activists and Democrat Party affiliate groups, including the Human Rights Campaign, Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, In Citizens United, and Center for American Progress, have all cut staff in recent months as donors slow their pace of funding, according to the Times. One Democrat Party affiliated group, Run for Something, which works to elect down-ballot Democratic candidates, laid off more than a third of its personnel after the presidential election, the Times reported. The Democratic National Committee, or DNC, also fired hundreds of employees post-election defeat as party groups grappled with the tens of millions of dollars in debt the Harris campaign incurred. Democratic Party donors reported frustration comes as many worry that the party has learned few lessons after losing the popular vote for the first time since 2004 last November. The newly elected DNC chairman, Ken Martin, ridiculous. I can't believe they voted for this guy. Crazy. Raised eyebrows in January when he said, quote, anyone saying we need to start over with a new message is wrong, just days before being elected party chairman. And so they're not changing. The Democrat Party refuses to change. But he said, quote, clearly we have a brand and a perception problem, Martin told the Times in an interview seeking to clarify his remarks. While we, the Democrat Party, don't need a wholesale abandonment of the issues, we do need to focus on the things that people desperately care about, and we haven't because we've allowed ourselves to message to smaller and smaller parts of our coalition. I do agree with that. They're going with the minority instead of the majority, which is why they're losing. Americans believe that abortion, LGBTQ rights, and climate change are the most important issues to the Democratic Party, according to a New York Times Ipsos poll released on January 2nd that surveyed 2,128 Americans. Conversely, which is against what most Americans want. This is what Americans want. Conversely, the most important issues to Americans are the economy, healthcare, and immigration, according to a January poll. So they believe, and rightfully so, that the Democrats those aren't their main issues. Their main issues aren't the American people's main issues, which is why they will continue to lose. But, quote, the DNC learned nothing from the last election. Major Democratic Florida donor John Morgan, who funded the personal injury law firm Morgan & Morgan, told the Times. Despite electing Martin to lead the DNC, Democrats appear to still lack a clear leader or united strategy to lead the party to success during the upcoming 2026 midterms. Former White House press secretary under former President Joe Biden and MSNBC host Jen Psaki likened Democrats to being, quote, in the wilderness following Harris's defeat and the GOP retaking control of the Senate. The Democrat Party also reached a low approval rating of just 31%, according to a January favorability rating reported by Quinnipiac. Despite this, many Democrat Party leaders are not backing away from messaging that voters appear to reject in November. They're so stubborn. I don't understand it. A Democratic Maryland rep, Jamie Raskin, I can't stand this dude, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, labeled Trump as a fascist and said that the party should be focused on defending the U.S. democracy against the president's allegedly authoritarian executive orders. It's authoritarian. They want authoritarian when Biden was doing executive orders in a recent interview with Politico. But let's get to this clip that I was talking about. This poster. They would never learn their lesson. But let's look at this clip. Here we go. 1 second here. All right. Here we go.
You do a lot of focus groups. You really get behind the numbers, the poll numbers, to the sentiments of voters. And it's so interesting. You've been speaking with a number of voters who were Hillary Clinton 2016, Joe Biden 2020, and then went for Trump in 2024. How are these folks seeing the early days of Trump's second term?
Pretty well.
Really?
And they're reacting to it because they love the pace of change. They were very fed up over the last 4 years. They wanted action. They wanted results. They looked at prices. They looked at affordability, looked at immigration, and they didn't see anything happening. They still don't like what he says, but they like what he does. And these are Democrats now who felt that they were not securing the border. They were doing nothing to prevent illegal immigration, that nothing was actually happening. They wanted to see a reduction in wasteful Washington spending, and they're seeing that. So what they tell me is, I wish you'd be a little bit less rude. But at the same time, they like what he's doing. They believe he's serious about it. And for the first time, they have confidence in the future, which is why you now see some significant shifts in the polling about the expectations for the direction in the coming years.
It's a big wake-up call for Democrats.
I'm waiting for them to get a message. I'm waiting for them to unify and to understand that to oppose and to be the resistance, which is what some of them use that phrase, that's not what Democrats in grassroots areas want from them. They may not want the approach that Trump is doing, President Trump. By the way, I now know to say President Trump. But they do want action, and they don't see action from the Democrats.
There you have it. That's it. The Democrats are not giving. There's no action
from former FAA control.
Sorry about that. There's no action. They just want to resist Trump, but they don't want to do anything to fix immigration. They don't want to do anything to fix the economy. They just want to resist Trump. And that's their message. That's the only message the Democrat Party have, which is a losing message because even Democrats are for what Trump is doing as far as his actions. And most Americans are behind that. So they're going to lose again because they just want to be anti-Trump. But I'm all for it because we don't need the Democrats to win. So let them keep pushing this nonsense, this idiocracy. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.